Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Great to see you guys tonight. Let's see here. We need to, you know what? My Facebook account is not linked. Oh my gosh. Well, that stinks. Let me see if I can do anything about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can do anything about that at this point. I tell you, there have been so many problems with Facebook right now. It's just unbelievable. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carry on with the YouTube. And I'll tell you what, let me just put a link on Facebook for those guys to join us here over on the YouTube channel. And maybe they can come on over to the YouTube channel. Join the live on YouTube. Let me put me on there. Let's see if that will work. Okay. Well, hopefully people will join me over there. I have some exciting stuff to tell you guys tonight. So last night, what we did was we went out to Wicked World Scare Grounds. And it is at 5817 Tates Creek Road. Hey to Deborah Hoskins, good to see you tonight. And it's in Lexington, or actually Nicholasville, but it's Lexington, Kentucky. And it's a conglomeration of 3 different haunted attractions. And you know, we know the people that run the Wicked World Scare Grounds. These are people that are friends of ours for years and years. And it is a super duper place for you guys to go if you want to get in the Halloween spirit, if you want something to do with your friends on Halloween, or, you know, now, right before Halloween, where it's not too busy and you can go out there and get the scared out of you. This is so much fun. So I'm going to play a little promo for you from Wicked World. And this was super fun. Let's watch it together.
We've been serving up scares for over 15 years in the heart of the bluegrass. Come hang out with our Wicked World Sliders.
We've been serving up scares
Dance
for
right
over
away
15
with
years.
DJ Krankenstein. And test your luck in one of the all-new escape rooms. Or dare to step into any of our 3 attractions.
And you can see some of the actors that are out there. I wish you guys on Instagram could see this. This is cool. This is so cool. Okay. Let's hide that. All right. Hey to Ina Thompson and Charlotte Northcutt. Okay. I left a link on the Facebook page because Facebook isn't connecting. And, you know, that's kind of why I'm going to encourage everybody who follows the Facebook page to come on over to YouTube and watch the live stream or watch the show. Facebook is just not real dependable right now. And I hate for you guys to, you know, expect to see it on Facebook and then Facebook just doesn't connect. So I think I'm just going to start shooting people over to the YouTube channel. But thanks to you guys. I left a link on the Facebook page for you guys to follow me over here on the YouTube channel. So another thing that I want to tell you guys about, The owners of the Wicked World Scaregrounds also have this, and it's in Frankfurt. Have you ever been to an escape room? These are so much fun. There's riddles, there's puzzles. You have to work together as a group to escape the escape room, and there is just a ton of fun. And this is open all the time. This is year-round in Frankfurt. It's 108 Myrtle Avenue in Frankfort, Kentucky, and the phone number is 502-699-2475. 502-699-2475. This is super fun. This is a good time, you guys. They have ladies' night, guys' night, group outings. You can take your whole family and do this. It's so much fun. Hey to Yasmin. Thank you. So, dude, check this out. Capital Escape in Frankfurt, 108 Myrtle Avenue. And see what you think. Like, if you can't go out to the haunted house and you just want to do something just with your family, you don't want to be exposed to a lot of people, go to the escape room. Take your family or your group and go to the escape room. It is so much fun. Let's get on to our dreams tonight. Also, I want to mention next week on Monday, October 18th, next Monday, October 18th, we're going to go over the history of capturing a spirit. I know you probably haven't heard of that before, and that's probably why we're doing the show. This is something that not a lot of people know about, and a few people have been asking questions about it, so I thought I'd better do a show about it. Now, you guys need to tell me, do you want history of capturing a spirit and how to do that, or what are ghosts and spirits? Let me know in the comments if you have one preference or another. Hey to Selena. Good to see you guys on Instagram and POB 437062. Thank you. I'm glad that my hairdo is holding up for tonight. When I first took it down, I looked at myself in the mirror and how curly it was. You know, it reminded me of that scene in Interview with the Vampire when the little girl cuts her hair and it comes back all curly and it just goes. That's what it reminded me of. And I was like, oh my God, I look like that girl in the show. Anyway, okay, so on to our dreams. People have been waiting to get their dreams and the interpretation that goes with them. And so we're going to go through some right now. Now, if you have dreams that you want interpreted, this is a once a month show, and it's about mid-month, right in the beginning or mid-month of the show of the month that I present this type of show. And so, and all the dreams are done anonymously. So if you want your dream interpreted, you need to email me. I will leave my email in the comments for you guys. Let me put it in there right now. And whoever wants to email me their dreams, I can interpret those for November. Oh, there it is. I was like, God, it didn't come up, but there it is. It took it a minute. It's and so for those of you guys over here watching on Instagram, if you want to DM me your dream, I'll put it on the November show and do an interpretation for it. And it's always anonymous, so you don't have to worry about, me telling who you are. We never do that. And so the interpretations are all, on the anonymous. So let's start off with these interpretations. So this is a dream that one of the viewers has. Now, this person, their spouse passed away, and this is their dream. Okay, so let's see. Let me get to that one really quick here. That one is, yes. Okay, so this person's dream starts where they work. They work with the elderly in like a nursing home or assisted care, and they're cleaning the elderly people's jewelry. Now, right away, when we see jewelry in a dream, that represents things that are special, things that are unique, and she's doing a task for the elderly like she does every day in her work. And the people that she works with were noticing the wedding ring and that she had on, and she used to tell she communicates really well with her clientele, and so she's telling her clientele how her husband made it for her when they had first got married, and that it was engraved and it has special significance. And then she suddenly looks around and couldn't find the ring. It had disappeared from her finger. And of course, that just made her extremely distraught. So she retraces every step to try to see where it might have been put. And she finds it. But what upsets her the most is the engraving that was across the top of the ring was sheared off. And so she wakes up crying because, of course, the ring is ruined. Now, what all this means is the ring represents, again, these things that are precious, but it also represents a connection to her husband who has passed on. And so there are things that she's working through in her subconscious, like her subconscious is working through fears of losing the connection to her husband because the engraving is marked off of the ring. And so there are a lot of fears that she has of not being connected to or not maintaining the connection or the belonging to her husband. So the consciousness of the person they really need to work further on spiritual connections, astral projections, so that the two spirits can meet up on the astral plane, and maybe dream walking into his realm, because he is here also on her realm, but she doesn't have the perception of him. So she has to work on that more actively, work on increasing the perception of his realm, but also practicing in astral travel, astral projection, dream walking, practicing for those two energies to meet up after her physical is gone. So she has to really start working on that. Hey to Celtic Prepper, good to see you tonight. Glad to see you're here. For those of you that are on the YouTube channel with me tonight, if any of you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you get notified of any special shows that I do and the weekly show right here. So that was a really good dream to interpret. I like the symbology of the engraving being erased from the ring. This is a good one for October. So this is a male that has the dream, and they're dreaming about the man that lives beside him in a duplex. And again, he and the friend or the person in the duplex were friendly, but they weren't close and they never hung out. But one morning he has a dream about 5 a.m. Now that's a key, because usually at 5 a.m. is when your brain waves enter theta. And theta wave is the brain wave that spirits use to communicate. So that's significant. And he dreams that he was walking past the other duplex where this guy lives, like always, walking to his car. And in his dream, he walks by the duplex, and a young couple were almost completely moved into the duplex. And he's walking by and thinking in his dream, how did this guy move out, and how did these people move in without me hearing anything of consciousness? So he wakes up confused from that dream and then goes back to sleep, because remember, it's 5 a.m. So he goes back to sleep for a couple hours, and then he wakes up later to the man in the duplex's brother pounding on the door, trying to wake him up. And evidently, the man in the duplex had passed away. Now, this is significant. So at 5 a.m., when his brainwaves enter into theta, and that's on the spiritual plane, he has access to the spiritual realm. And this is the man's way of showing him that he's passed on. So he not only has access to the fact in the spiritual realm that the man is passed on, but he also sees who has moved in. Now, remember, in the past show on time and how we perceive time, it's not linear, it's more of a location. So the fact that he sees occupants already in the space, he's tapping into a location in the future. So theta wave is a big key turn to working with spirits and getting communication from spirits. Now, theta wave is not restful sleep. So if you want restful sleep, you have to do delta wave. But theta wave is that twilight kind of trance state that you get right in those hours right before you wake up in the morning. And so that's why and how he tapped into that. So he actually, the theta wave that he was in at 5 a.m. was sensing or had sensed the leaving of the spirit and the future location of these people that had moved in. So that was a pretty cool dream too. Hey, to B. Ferreira and Michelle Durbin. Good to see you guys over here on Instagram. Okay, so here's the next one. So this is a female client, and she is dreaming about the lead singer of a band. And she and this lead singer are just hanging out, and this is one of her favorite singers. She says it was casual. It felt normal in the dream. They were outside, and they weren't doing anything, just kind of hanging out together. And she says out loud, but it was like she knew what was being said. In other words, that is a psychic ability. Knowing, feeling, and feeling are all psychic abilities. And so she used a psychic intuition of knowing to kind of sense the conversation. So she says out loud then, it would be good to have one of those chocolate chip cookies like they have in Georgetown. Now, she didn't really know of these cookies in real life. So again, she's tapping into the quantum field and this location in space-time, but it's a quantum field connection. So in that, everything is connected in the quantum field. And so really, when you dream about somebody, you are connected to that person because you're connected to everybody. And so the fact that she projects how nice it would be to have these chocolate chip cookies, her consciousness already knows about this location in Georgetown, Kentucky. But the reason she's having it is that I feel like that her spirit guides have deemed that she is in need of a mental treat, kind of, or release of worry. And they connected her with this good experience to give her a pick-me-up. And she also says that they were in a truck and the truck took off. And the truck is an older pickup. An older pickup just simply means that the spirit guides are accessing old memories to kind of work off of, to give her this mental treat. And of course, the truck is partially being sanded down, like it's being restored. And there's another color underneath. She thinks that white was on top of that. Okay, that's significant because the truck is being restored, meaning the memories are being restored or resurrected to use as this mental treat. And the fact that white is on top of the memories means that spirit is in control of this. So this was such a good dream for her. Um, and I like it that her spirit guides were giving her this really good mental treat. So that was just absolutely cool. Okay. So, all right, let me look at this. I don't want to get confused on where I'm at here. Okay, we have one more dream, and then I'm going to give you a big, long synopsis here. Okay, so this person is dreaming, and she realizes, she says, I'm not well, but I forced myself to get out of bed. And then she's up and cleaning everything and throwing away stuff. And she's got to get ready for school, and she's going through the clothes in the closet, and she's seeing really flashy and colorful things, but she doesn't recognize anything. It's like, these are not my things. And so thinking I have to pick something before I shower, but decide I just can't do it, and I go back to bed. Also in this dream, as in others, my deceased husband has hurt me mentally. So she's saying that he did hurt me by passing on first and not waiting for her to go on so that they could pass together. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in this dream. So first off, she's not well. So that means that aspects of her life need change. And so she gets up and she's cleaning everything. So what the subconscious is telling her is that life needs cleaned. She needs to clean out a lot of old thoughts, a lot of old habits, and cleanse the body, maybe even change the diet. But cleansing her to make her well is one of the biggest things that's trying to be communicated to her in this dream. Now, she's supposed to get ready for school, which means she has a lot of learning that needs to happen, yet still in her life. And the flashy and colorful things she doesn't recognize, but these are aspects that she should be, or the subconscious is trying to get her attracted to these things so that it can get her out of this slump that she's in. But she decides not to do that and to go back to bed. Now, the reason that she has repeated dreams about her husband hurting her mentally, anytime you have a repeated dream or you dream of the similar things over and over and over, it's because you're not accepting or working through a certain aspect in your life. And so what happens is the subconscious has to represent the material over and over with small changes in the dream to see if you will work through that or work through those aspects. So the fact that her ex-husband passed on before she did, and they cannot do this together, are issues that she has to reconcile or deal with in the conscious mind and the subconscious. This is the subconscious trying to urge her to overcome this. So these are huge challenges for this person to work on. And it is so very interesting. Now, the last one that we're going to present was a dream somebody had about me. And I'm going to tell you the interpretation that I had to go with it. Yeah, because it was a long interpretation. So this person messaged me and says that they were on a girls' trip with their family, and the hotel would switch back and forth between a hospital and hotel. So when you see scenes changing like that, that means part of the life needs healing. So because they're bringing either a hospital or clinic into the scene, that is triggering the mind that there's some kind of healing aspect that needs to go on. So she says, a man came into the room and says it's time to go. He was really pushy and wouldn't give her time to get dressed. So she's wrestling with preparation and not feeling prepared. And so she keeps asking who he was. And everyone around her says to her, he's with Kathryn, meaning me. So they get out to the parking lot, and she says, I was walking with him, and she keeps trying to ask me who he was, but I wouldn't answer. And everyone was saying he was with me. Then she ends up at my house, and I walk in the door, and the house is very vibrant and eclectic. Everything is a different color and lights up with black lights. So it's really impressive. She remembers the stove was old fashioned and was pastel pink, and the whole wall was pastel pink. So pinks, reds, kind of a rose red, those all indicate love and serenity and the projection of love. So there were different doorknobs and pulls in different colors and designs. And there was a walkway off the kitchen that was completely different. It was brick and cobblestone and very narrow. And there was a tall wooden cabinet on one side. So all this means is that the spirit, meaning me, has been around for many different lives and many different situations and lots of different times, and so that's how the different times are represented in the different styles and the different doorknobs and the different wood cabinets and everything, because they're all from different time frames. So she sees there are a lot of people over the house packing my things. And she goes to look for me. And she keeps seeing me in one room, but by the time she gets there, I'm somewhere else. And so not being able to connect means there's something wrong with the communication or the connection that needs worked on. And so she keeps trying to get to me. And the man that she doesn't like keeps showing up and was very pushy and rude to everybody and keeps trying to get to me. And so she asks everybody, where is David? And one of the ladies stops her and says, David is gone. He passed away a couple of days ago. And that makes her start to cry. So she's so upset and in shock that she keeps saying, no, I just saw him. Then the people go on to tell her that, and she goes on to tell that I'm with this nasty man that she doesn't like, and that I was going to marry him. And then she asked the people if they knew how bad he was, and they're trying to tell her, no, he's not bad. So she couldn't get to talk to me, and she kept going through the house over and over to find me, but couldn't. So she wakes up pretty upset. So here's my interpretation for that. So when you dream about somebody who's dying, it's usually because, or died, it's usually because they're in a new phase in life. So we've finally gotten to the point where we're thinking about moving from the house that we've lived in for the last 20 years. And so David is starting a new phase in life, and you can tell that in his life that he's starting a new phase. And so that's a death and a rebirth of this new phase in life. So Ina wants to know, do you know what any of your past lives were? Yes, I did. I know the only concrete way that you can find out what your past lives are is if you have some hypnotherapy done and a regression. And I did have that done. I do use Live Today hypnosis. For those of you who are interested, you want to ask for the practitioner, Paul Bishop. And as a matter of fact, I'll ask him to be on the show, Ina, and we'll go through the significance and benefit of finding out what your past lives are. And I did find out what mine were. And so anyway, back to her dream. So, the point about David dying was the fact that she's picking up on he's starting a new phase in life. And so, so the other fact is that she is in a house that I own, and that is actually dream walking. And dream walking is on another video that I have on my YouTube channel. And after the show, I will try to put a link to it in the comments if I can, to that show, because dream walking is different than astral projection. It is a type of astral projection, but it's specific where you are in someone else's dream. And I feel like that's where she was, because she has this need to communicate with me, and the communication isn't complete because she's dream walking and I'm not. Okay. And so the fact that this guy that she doesn't like shows up is a spirit guide of mine who doesn't know who she is. When I go to have any kind of massage or energy work done, this particular entity shows up, and the practitioners that have tried to work on me have given the same description, unbeknownst to each other, of this entity that prevents them from going forward with work unless I say it's okay to this spirit guide, let them work on me. And it is sort of like a very tall monk is what they describe to me, that has a very ominous type of presence to them. But I think it is because it's super protective and it pushes their energy back. And so this type of figure, I think, represents the nasty man that won't let anyone next to me. And so I think that that's her encountering the spirit guide that's extremely protective of my energy. It does seem menacing to her, but it really isn't. And that's what the rest of the people in the dream are trying to tell her, is that it's okay. It's not menacing. So her mind is trying to rationalize all these things to fit in the real world. And so this mysterious protector of mine doesn't make sense to her rational mind. Now, another interpretation could be that it could be a symbolic type of thing, such as good versus evil in the world today. And it may be something that she's struggling with all the evils that are going on. And her psyche is trying to figure all that out. So it could be something like that. And the mind can definitely insert characters that symbolically represent aspects of good and aspects of evil. It could be that I represented an aspect of good and this menacing man represented an aspect of evil. So it just could be a metaphor of good energy versus evil energy. And also, the fact that her caring nature for me and not wanting my vulnerability to be taken advantage of. So that was a very interesting, complicated dream that I'd love to interpret. Let me do some more shout outs here. Shout out to my favorite person in the whole world, Miss Martha Theobald. And anyway, that's our show for the evening. Please let me know for next week if you want to see, or if you want to go over capturing a spirit, or what are ghosts, because a lot of people don't know what ghosts are. And don't forget, I think it's on the 24th of this month. It's not next Monday, but the Monday after. Going to have Rob Abbott on the show, and we're going to go over dark magic and, those aspects of dark magic and how people use that. And that is such a cool topic for this time of year. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next Monday. You guys have a fabulous week, and kisses from Kentucky, and I love you all, and stay rocking, and go to Wicked World. Absolutely. Have some fun. Bye, y'all.